And for me, I don't think it's about being wired like anything from birth.
Yeah.
I'm not of that belief personally.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I'm gonna get like on thin ice because this is where I get kind of like almost like biblical or like I'm not holier than anybody. I'm not judging anybody for your personal choices in life. Do you? But I feel like damn, that shit went off on me right then, and my thought went blank at the same time. That was great synchronicity. Pretty much, it's a spirit to me. Um, it's a spirit to me that gets a hold of people, and me and you could give a good analogy to make a connection on our conversation when we talked about lower frequencies
Mm-hmm.
and people being able to their bodies being able to be used as vessels by demonic entities or whatever you may want to call
Mm-hmm.
it from the metaphysical world. And then you had a great thing that your sound teacher told you about just consistent energy, not necessarily vibrating higher, but just at a consistency.
Consistent, right?
Yeah, so I think sometimes people get taken over by different forces,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to all of us to correct or to challenge those forces and to um, not let those forces or that urge take over. And then if you give in to said force, I think over time that just may become a part of who you are, and then it may be accepted normally amongst others as, oh, he's just this way.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I don't mind what your sexual orientation is. I think we're having a bigger discussion when we talk about this is because it's
Absolutely.
about more than just sexual
No, this
orientation.
is morals, brother.
Yeah, it's about moral,
This is morality.
because it could be like you said, pedophilia,
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Heterosexuality, just in general, everything that's going on, like
yeah.
that's what we're talking about. How people are
No, I'm glad
wired.
we're getting to it,
Yeah,
bro.
and you're saying that nah, fuck the wiring. This is some sort of dark shit going on.
To me, and that's
Right,
my
and I respect
feeling
that.
because anytime,
That's
like,
why I want to
all
have
right,
this
I'll even
discussion.
give examples, bro, since we're having this discussion, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. I've thought about these things because when we talk about these things, you got to be
Right.
willing to be challenged and be
Exactly.
open to have honest conversation,
I agree.
or else I'm bullshit, just sitting here on my high horse talking shit, and I'm acting like the people that I clown for having Twitter fingers and all of this shit. So I've been in situations, bro, where I've seen a woman that I thought may have been what I know to be a woman, but it was not. It may have been a transgender, but she was, I'm gonna say, beautiful. And I was like, especially 5 years from now, I probably wouldn't even have been secure enough to say that because my guys' friends would have been like, "Ah, what do you mean? He's beautiful," because we say stupid stuff like that. But now people have sensitivity to know you don't call a transgender woman a he. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So little things like that have changed. But yeah, I was at my friend. Oh, ooh, I shouldn't say names, but my friend, because I don't know. My friend's house. I'm gonna call her O. My friend O's house in the ATL, and the ATL has a big LGBT community,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the black community. And she had a friend over, and her friend was eyeing me and stuff. And I was only there for a short period of time, like for a job interview. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, I'm like, "What's up with your homegirl? Oh, like she seemed like she feeling me." And O just kept it real with me, like, "Nah, bug, like that ain't for you. Like she's such and such." Cause oh no, I'm straight. Like she
Mm-hmm.
know like that I'm obviously thinking that that's a woman.
Hell yeah.
Cause she was passing for a woman. And just calmly let me know like, "But nah, that ain't for you." And that was that, you know what I mean? But it's happened, like be out in Vegas, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
even in New Orleans. These are places where, you may see transgenders or, whatever while you're out partying. And I don't be disrespectful, but it's like, that's not my flavor, you know what I mean? But if you get hit on or something, it may be uncomfortable because you think your boy's gonna clown you. So it's a thing of masculinity and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel like if you give into those pressures, because see, I didn't know that was a woman. I don't know like what road you go down if you say, "Oh man, I'll give into that this one time." You know what I mean? Because I feel like my mama taught me this actually. Like when you give into certain entities, then it could take over you. So I could see how easily someone could be led astray. And I'm just trying to be open and transparent with people because I can't talk about things and not be open and transparent.
Yeah.
Or even if you see like a young female walking down the street and then you may look, but then you're like, nah, she's young.
Yeah.
That's something you have to train yourself to do as a man.
sure.
People don't talk about shit like that.
I want to comment on that real
what
quick.
about the man that doesn't turn away and say, nah, that's a baby?
Yeah, I want to comment on that.
And then you feed into that, and I think that's how a weirdo, or what we would call a pedo, or somebody we would look at as fucking scum, that's how they become scum. I don't think it's always you're born like that. You just were weak.
Yeah.
And you gave in, and then you may develop a likeness for it.
Yeah.
And then it's cultural too. Sorry, I don't want to keep going too long, but you know how me and you have talked about they push Roman culture. And that was a part of Roman culture. So,
but I wanted to make a point, like, when people are like, oh man, he's got good character. You know what I'm saying? Or she has good character. Mm-hmm. And character, when you think of character, other than that, the other meaning of character is like a character. You know what I mean? Oh, I played this character in the movie. You know what I mean? Or a character in the cartoon show, whatever. So I look at it as, because you said you got to train yourself to do it, right? That's why people say you have good character, because you've become someone else than what a typical, you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Because
what the urge is telling you to do,
especially if a young girl is developed.
Yes.
You don't know.
I've done it a million times. You're like, oh shit, and you look, and then you see her face, and you're like, oh shit.
Nah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, is that not everyone's like that. So that's where the character comes from. Yeah. So when people are like, oh, it's like, so it's not really, I'm saying that I think they use the word character in another way besides using it as a character, right? When you're saying like a character in a movie.
You're talking about building character.
Yeah, I'm saying the reason they use that one is because you become something that's not natural. Because naturally, without just your reptilian brain, no neocortex, none of that bullshit. Your reptilian brain is like reproduce, 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 right? So at the core of it, that's what's happening. But your neocortex, the rational, the human being, right, kicks in and is like, no, that's the character right here, bro. No, this is not this. This is a separate entity, and the character is what controls it.
Great way to break it down, because some people act on this.
Yeah, on the reptilian brain.
Their lower self.
For sure.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I'm not saying that people that are homosexual are lower. No. Don't get this twisted.
No.
I'm just talking about entities
We're
that
talking
can take
about
over people's actions.
Yeah, dark shit like rape and pedophilia. Dark shit, not homosexuality. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
But see, then it gets crazy, and I'm glad you're separating, and then I'm going to make it muddy again, though, because sometimes, especially people in like the conscious black community, I hate to use that word, but just to give you context, think that the movement for LGBT can get blurry, because then it opens up the door for some of the pedophilic stuff that me and you both know they're trying to normalize. So that's where it's like, I'm not talking about LGBT because your choice is your choice. I'm mainly talking about the narrative that is being pushed, and an agenda by Hollywood and the media.
Well, it's a disproportionate representative.
A person that I know that lives a lifestyle that's different than mine, I have no problem with you. You know, that's what I want to be made clear. Because people are probably going to come and be like, man, but I know somebody that's gay, or I'm gay. Yeah. You don't like me? And I'm like, no, I love you for you and being you.
Yeah. It's a disproportionate representation of the truth. And if it was any other way, people would have something to say about that.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Period. That's all that,
And that leads to, I think, the openness for people to allow that, whatever I'm explaining, entity to take over them, because now they even see it more, it's normalized more, and they can even explore more.
I agree. On shows like Family Guy, bro. On shows like Family Guy with Herbert the Pervert. Why do they have a fucking child molester on that cartoon? Right. And it's normalized. So now you're normalizing it to the kids, too. Yeah. Where they don't even want to report it. Like, oh, this is normal. I'm supposed to get, And
then we wonder
molested.
Why people don't report shit. And it comes out way later. Yeah. Because that shit hurts, and people don't want to talk about
It's a cycle that they're perpetuating in society on several forms of media.
When I think about how sex was taught to me and my sexual experiences as a young man, it's terrible, bro. I even hate reliving it. Like,
Yeah.
what a terrible way to learn about sex. Like, if anything, I just hope to do way better for my son.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on anybody in my family. I think it's just the way it's been done. Even you look on the television, it's like, did you have the birds and the bees talk? So
Yeah.
we treat sexuality as if it's one talk
Yeah.
that a dad has with a son.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it's been done in previous generations. And you watch television and it's always uncomfortable when they talk about it. Like, they don't want to talk about it with their kids.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always been a taboo thing. I think over the years, parents have done better. Like, my papa, he used to challenge me, like, what you doing, man? You out there having sex? You know, pretty much telling me, like, if you are, come talk to me, you know what I mean? Like, but
You out there having sex?
for the most part, we know as young men, we're pushed to be promiscuous, you know?
Yeah.
It's a thing, so.
And it's funny too that like chicks and chicks, women. I'm not saying that it's you don't have it harder. You do, but all I'm saying is we have it hard in terms of when it comes like in the sex department, because it's like, oh man, like I gotta make sure she comes. I gotta
Right.
make sure she's totally pleased. You know, does she like to get her pussy eaten, or does she just want to get fucked?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
How rough is too rough?
Right.
You know what
And
I mean? There's
mood
all
is
these
she
questions.
in?
Yeah,
'Cause
for
she
sure.
may like both, just
For
depending
sure.
on whatever mood she's
For sure.
Bro, you're so right, because not even in that moment, but even leading up to that moment,
Yeah.
we have to have all the game, make all the right moves. And what I usually tell dudes is, and me and you, I think even said it recently, they already know if they want you. We just have to not mess it up.
Oh, yeah.
But even that's a skill, because you have all this time to feel
Yeah.
and make it seem like I'm not trying to fuck, but I want to get to that, but I still have to like court you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of room for some guys to step on their own fucking tail. And
For
shit.
sure.
Kush and Chemtrails, the world's most dangerous podcast.